Hi everybody, welcome to the PUBG patch notes for update 14.2, which has gone live on the test server for PC today. So hopefully it's going to go live on the test server for Xbox and PlayStation over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully, they don't always do it for console, and then it will go live to the public shortly once they've completed testing. Now, this is actually quite an interesting update as well. There's some pretty cool stuff. So let's dive straight into it. I'll put a link to the patch notes in the description below this video, because there's quite a nice video that you can watch that kind of shows you the changes rather than me just talking about them. But here we go. The new weapon, the Mortar. This is just going to be on the Taego map, but as they say, the new Taego weapon Mortar is easy to use in combat situations, but it can take a lot of practice to achieve reasonable accuracy. First, you must calculate the distance to the target and the expected movement path, so calculate carefully. Once you get used to it, it can be helpful to attack behind ridges where grenades can't reach or when defending specific areas. Also, it can be effective when destroying the trunk of a vehicle. In particular, you can use various strategies in cooperative play, so be sure to use them in battle. Interesting. An indirect fire, almost like a piece of artillery in PUBG, but again only on the PUBG map. Once looted, it can take up a primary slot. Deployment: it can only be deployed on flat surfaces. It cannot be deployed on cement, iron, concrete, water or wooden floors or inside buildings. Left click the mortar to deploy, press the F key to cancel. Requires 3 seconds for deployment, so this isn't a fast to use weapon. Firing: the character crouches automatically once the firing mode gets activated. The character cannot move until the firing mode gets released. The player must have ammo in the inventory to fire. There is a 1 second delay between fires. And it's in normal matches and custom matches. And the mortar and ammo both spawn inside buildings. Does not spawn in supply crates or secret rooms. It can shoot between 121 to 700 meters. And then you've got the various controls there. So we're really going to have to play around with this, probably in the practice mode, aren't we, when they put it into there. So that would be pretty cool. Now, the M79 grenade launcher. Now, before you go, oh no, grenade launcher, great, that's all we need, another explosive. The M79 only fires smoke grenades, which I think is really cool, because you could argue that within PUBG, one of its major tactical faults is the problem. Actually, you get this in Warzone as well. You get this in any battle royale. Is often you can do everything right in a match, but then you'll get a shift of a circle that just means for some reason you've got to cover some open ground, or you've got to try to recover a teammate, and the ability to use your smokes tactically gives you a massive, if not advantage, it helps you to level the playing field, against that squad that has got into that compound first and have got the cover, and you haven't. By using smokes tactically, you can level the playing field. So that's what the M79 can do for you. So I think it's actually a very interesting weapon, especially as you'll hear in a minute. It only takes up your pistol slot. So our new M79 is a smoke grenade launcher that was created to provide quick smoke cover on longer ranges. Blind your enemies, cover your downed teammate, or make a grand escape from a losing battle. Weapon slot, pistol slot. You can't use it from the vehicle's driver's seat. New ammo type, the 40mm smoke grenade. Once it hits an object that's more than 10 meters away, the projectile will release the first smoke effect, followed by a second one a few seconds later. Once it hits an object that's less than 10 meters far away but fails to explode on impact, only the second smoke effect will be released after 3 seconds. So it's max stack size 5, it's only 14. So I think this actually weighs less than a normal smoke grenade. So very, very interesting indeed. This would be something I would definitely be picking up, and you can get it in normal matches, custom matches. Will not be available in training mode to prevent other players from getting interfered by the smoke effect. However, we will consider adding it in later updates. Yeah, you can see, because people will just be firing it everywhere, won't they? That doesn't do any damage. New feature, down but not out swimming. So again, this is an interesting one. So the problem used to be is if you got shot while you're in water, that was it, you were dead. If you were in squads, or duos, or you had they have revives in PUBG now, do they? I'm trying to remember. But now you can swim slowly. So you can get to the edge of the water and your teammate can then revive you, or they can pick you up and take you somewhere safe, or you can dive down as well, but you can't be revived when you're underwater. Down but not out, players can swim for half the normal speed. The air a player has in their lungs is not reset when entering down but not out, so a player who's drowning will continue to drown in down but not out. In down but not out, a player is constantly losing health points. Combined with drowning health points lost, this means that down but not out player will die within 10 seconds underwater. Reviving underwater is impossible, and any ongoing revive is cancelled when the player goes underwater or moves around too much. It is possible to revive a swimming down but not out player while floating underwater. So, I don't know how realistic... Okay, it's a video game, isn't it? But I guess, remember those days of swimming to the military island on Erangel? You know, if you got shot, you were dead, weren't you? But now, your teammates can revive you. If you get shot out of a... that was the classic one, wasn't it? You would get shot out of a speedboat and you'd be dead, but now you'd be floating around and they can revive you. There's the chicken. So they've now... On Taego, you're going to get these chickens clucking around. The idea with these is that if they hear things, they'll panic and start running around. So if they hear your footsteps or gunfire or a vehicle approaching, so they're probably going to give us a bit of a laugh. But you know, tactically, again, if you see a chicken running around in its kind of agitated state, you know someone is there, and you can kill them as well. They've improved some bits of arcade, improved a little bit on rank mode. I think that's it. And then there's bits about the esports and a few UI details have been improved. Quality of life. Here we go. The dynamic blue zone function operates according to the number of survivors per phase in certain maps. A guiding message will display so the players can be aware of it. And this is on Sanhok and Karakin. Dynamic blue zone activation conditions. Second phase, activate when there are less than 30 survivors. Third phase, when there's less than 18. Fourth phase, when there's less than 10. Fifth phase, when there's less than 3. Sixth phase, when there's less than 3. The following message will be displayed. The blue zone delay has been reduced because of the decreased survivor count. Alright, okay, so what this is, on Sanhok and Karakin, the two smaller maps, you know, right, we've only got 30 survivors left. Let's move in let's move in this next circle. Let's get the game going. I mean, you could argue they could do that in all the maps as well. There's definitely an argument for that. Survivor Pass update, the shop update, some more skins. Yeah, I don't like these skins. So a very interesting update, if you ask me. Very, very, very interesting indeed. Yeah, well, PUBG, you know, I mean, it's still up there for me as probably the greatest non-respawn video game ever made. Had my best gaming moments ever in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I must admit, I don't make that much content for PUBG anymore because I'm concentrating on other things. If there was one game though that I wish I could play more of, to get better at again, it would be PUBG, because it is unlike any other game. In fact, as an interesting kind of end note to this video, thinking about the classic games now, if I was to think about what are the classic games, I would say, you know, PUBG is definitely one of the greatest games ever made. I would have DayZ as one of the greatest games ever made alongside it. I would have Battlefield 1 as definitely alongside it. And the extra game I would now add to this list is Hell Let Loose. But you'll be finding out plenty more about Hell Let Loose with lots of content over the next year or so. But there we go. Anyway, PUBG update 14.2 live on the PC test server now. Hopefully coming to the console servers shortly, and hopefully coming to public servers before not too long. That's enough from me. If you enjoyed the video, like, if you want to see more of the same, subscribe, and of course I'll see you again soon.